Hey there, it's William Westhopper from the real DC Car Guy, and we're at the Port of Baltimore down at Sparrows Point, and they're getting ready to do groundbreaking for a new vehicle prep center for McLaren. McLaren! That's what we're getting ready to do. They're going to go ahead and do the official groundbreaking here. As you can see, they've got it all set up. Executives are right in line here.
And groundbreaking for McLaren's state-of-the-art vehicle processing facility. My name is Kerry Doyle, and I have had the privilege of leading Trade Point for nearly a decade, and what a transformative decade it's been. Today is truly a great day for Baltimore County, the Port of Baltimore, and the entire state of Maryland. This day didn't come about by happenstance. It's a result of a decade of hard work and commitment to a common vision. Today represents 10 years of public and private sector at their best, local, state, and federal government working in concert to lay the foundation for generational investments and unparalleled opportunities. Because of those efforts, today we welcome McLaren, a world-renowned organization and globally recognized brand. We are grateful for and humbled by McLaren's decision to choose Maryland and Baltimore County as a place to grow its business and its brand alike. I truly value the relationship and partnership that we formed with Nicolas, Derek, and the rest of the McLaren team. It's no surprise that standing behind this great brand are even better people. At this time, I'd like to introduce Nicolas Brown, the president of McLaren the Americas.
Thank you so much, Kerry. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. And thank you for taking the time to join us here today in the great port of Baltimore, Maryland, for this momentous occasion for McLaren. First, I'd like to recognize some of our very special guests. So starting with Jonathan Sachs from Baltimore County Department of Economic Development. Stephen Rice, Deputy Secretary for the Maryland Department of Commerce, Congressman Johnnie of the 2nd District of Maryland, Paxton, Baltimore Regional Director for Senator Angela also Brooks of Maryland, Senator Bernie Moreno of Ohio, a key supporter of the automotive industry and dealers across the nation, Jonathan Dodd, our Senior Trade Policy Officer from the UK Embassy in DC, Kerry Doyle, of course, Managing Director of this beautiful facility at Trade Point Atlantic, Melissa Kuipers-Blake, partner Brownstein, which is McLaren's government relations firm. And we have many council members and state representatives here. I just want to say thank you for taking the time to be with us here today. Also want to give a shout out to our McLaren dealer network. So we have McLaren Washington, D.C., we have McLaren Philadelphia here, and we also have McLaren North Jersey. To our logistics partners on the sea and on the land, so we have the great trucks from McAllister's as well as Intercity here. I'd also like to thank the stevedores and our port processing teams that make this all possible. And of course, our wonderful McLaren owners, some of which are gracing us with their presence today. And finally, I really want to thank Governor Wes Moore, who joined us for a site visit yesterday, for all of his continued support. Now, we are truly thrilled to have you all here today to celebrate this momentous occasion in the U.S. Now, this country has played a significant role throughout our entire history, going all the way back to the man that started it all, Bruce McLaren. Now, Bruce was an innovator. He was an entrepreneur, but above all, he was a racer. And the very first Formula One race that he won back in 1959 was here in the U.S. at Sebring. And he was only 22 years old at the time, the youngest ever driver to achieve this feat. And this was a record that stood until the early 2000s. Now, Bruce recognized how important this market was. So when he was looking for financing for his Formula One team in those early days, and he had this dream of starting his own road car division. He entered into the US-based Can-Am series. And McLaren dominated this series, winning the championship 5 years in a row. Now, many are often surprised to know that McLaren is a very young company on the automotive side. So we've only been in existence for 14 years. But if you think about how far the brand has come in such a short period of time, it truly is incredible. Having developed some of the most iconic vehicles the world has ever seen, and we have delivered 13,000 supercars to owners across the US, and all of those have come through Baltimore, Maryland. The US market is also firmly established as the largest market for McLaren globally, representing 50% of our global sales volume. And this is why we were so grateful that the UK was the first country to sign a trade deal with the US government. And we do not take this for granted. We have and we continue to invest. Over the past 2 years alone, together with our great dealer partners, we have invested over $150 million into the US. And over the next 12 months, we will invest a further $100 million into high-tech sales and service facilities. But this is really just the beginning. Today marks the latest step in our expansion plans with the groundbreaking of our all-new vehicle processing center. Now, this facility will create a customer, high-tech, custom processing facility that also offers accessorizing capabilities, and most importantly, it will bring new, incremental, high-paying jobs to Baltimore and Maryland, something we are very proud of. And within its walls will be a facility outfitted with the latest automotive technologies and quality control systems to make sure that every McLaren vehicle that arrives to a customer is a perfect 10. Now, Derek Meyer, our Vice President of Commercial Operations and Finance, will go into some more detail, but I am super excited to open this new facility in a year's time. Now, the future for McLaren is incredibly bright. As you may know, our Formula One team is back in the pole position, having won the World Championship last year. And halfway through this season, we have a comfortable lead in the championship. We have new investors that have committed to make significant investments into this brand to make sure that we continue to deliver iconic vehicles moving forward, and that we continue to expand in this market. So today we're excited to add another chapter into the long legacy that Bruce McLaren started over 60 years ago. And before we find out more, I'd like to invite Stephen Rice, Deputy Secretary for the Maryland Department of Commerce, to the stage to say a few words.
Today is a beautiful day, and I'm not just talking about the weather. Once again, my name is Steve Rice. I have the privilege of serving as Deputy Secretary of Commerce for the state of Maryland. I have the honor of speaking here today on behalf of Governor Wes Moore and Secretary Harry Coker. I'm joined by my colleague, Deputy Secretary Ricardo Ben, who has disappeared. So on behalf of the state of Maryland, I would like to congratulate McLaren on the start of this new and exciting chapter. I specifically like to thank Nicolas Brown and his McLaren team for choosing Maryland for this first of its kind facility. And let me emphasize this new facility is a first of its kind. So that means Maryland is actually in the pole position. And that's exactly where we should be. That's exactly where we need to be. And that's the exact position that we're going to be if we're going to win the decade. This facility does a number of things. It brings major capital investment to the state of Maryland. It brings high-quality jobs to the Baltimore region. And it highlights the Baltimore region as a major automotive hub. Now, as the Port Administration, our friends in Commerce, will tell us often, the Port of Baltimore actually welcomed the very first Volkswagen Beetle in 1963. So that means you are in good company. Now, I'm not going to compare a Beetle to a 750S, but you're in good company, and you're in the right place. So, on behalf of the Maryland Department of Commerce, on behalf of the state of Maryland, let me say this. We are here to support you. We're here to support the business community. We want to be not just partners in your success. We want to be partners in your growth. We want to be partners in your prosperity. We thank you for choosing Maryland, and we will not let you down. Thank you.
I'd like to welcome our Vice President of Finance and Commercial Operations, Derek Meyer.
Thank you, Nick, and good morning, everyone. I wanted to thank you all for joining us here today as we break ground on McLaren Automotive's new vehicle processing center right here in Baltimore. This facility is a powerful symbol of our long-term commitment to the U.S. market as well as to Maryland, and it will really serve as the platform for the next generation of McLaren vehicles. It will enable us to deliver the exceptional quality, performance, and craftsmanship that our customers will expect. We're proud to be partnering here today with TradePoint Atlantic, whose expertise in logistics and infrastructure has been critical in bringing this project to life. We'd also like to thank Baltimore County for their support and investment in this project as well. So today marks the completion of the design phase, and we'll be breaking ground immediately on this facility with expectation to be finished by the third quarter of 2026. This is not just a vehicle processing facility, it's a strategic asset for our company. We've benchmarked the best in the industry, and we've designed a center that goes beyond. When completed, this will be the newest, most high-tech VPC in the world, a facility truly worthy of McLaren's name. We're also thankful to our guests here, Senator Bernie Moreno, Secretary Lutnick, and the overall Trump administration for their role in securing the UK-US trade agreement, which allows us to import these vehicles under preferred tariff rates, which is a vital step in keeping McLaren strong and growing in this market. And finally, to our valued customers and dealer partners, thank you. Your passion for this brand makes all of this possible. This facility is being built for you to deliver every McLaren at the highest standard of quality, care, and performance. Thank you again for being with us today. We're excited for what's ahead and look forward to welcoming you back in 2026 when we open this facility. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Derek. This facility will really be the crown jewel in McLaren's infrastructure. It's now my pleasure to welcome Congressman Johnnie O from Maryland's 2nd District to say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. It is a privilege and an honor to be with you today. Nicolas, I want to thank you and the team for welcoming us. It's an honor to be here with Senator Moreno. We are importing not just cars, but also senators today. But I think it speaks to just how excited we are to welcome this investment here near the Port of Baltimore, here at TradePoint Atlantic. And I want to applaud the senator for his leadership, particularly on the tariff issues. I'm excited to see that there is a preferred deal that will help facilitate continued success. Although I have to say that I want to raise and lift the concerns about what tariffs mean for not just the auto industry, but for industries across America, knowing, for example, that many of the 750,000 cars that processed through the Port of Baltimore last year were McLaren. We're excited to see that number increase as this investment comes to bear, as we see these families sustaining jobs, as we see this custom experience, as we see the the continued growth and success at Trade Point Atlantic. And for those of you who don't know me, I come at this as someone who feels this growth and this investment very personally. See, I grew up not just far from this site when it was a steel plant. I still live not far from this site, maybe the shortest commute I've had in recent memory to an event. But I've seen the transition from a steel plant and good paying jobs to a shuttered steel plant. And when those dreams and hopes and aspirations went away. And so McLaren's investment today is yet another reminder that this site, that the Baltimore region is on the rise again. We are moving forward and we're doing it together. So on behalf of the entire Maryland congressional delegation, I bring my thanks and I bring our greetings. I know that Senator Van Hollen and Senator Also Brooks are huge supporters of the work that's happening here at Trade Point, and very excited to welcome you. I join my colleague from Baltimore, Congressman Fume, in lifting up this investment. So I think this is an important signal that investment continues, that the Baltimore region is on the move. Bonus that we get some really cool cars moving here through the Baltimore region, so we're just really excited. And just please know that as we work with Carrie and the Trade Point team, as we work with Nicolas and the McLaren team, that we are all in. As we work with Governor Moore and the Maryland team, we are all in, and even locally. I had the privilege of being Baltimore County Executive. I see my prior colleague, Councilman Jones, locally. We're all in to make sure that you are successful. So we're going to take this day. Look forward to coming back in less than a year. I love the urgency of getting it done. We're going to keep building on the infrastructure needs here. We're going to make sure we keep pushing to get this key bridge rebuilt so that we are moving commerce even more efficiently with all the urgency that it demands, so that you know that you are welcomed and that your success here is our success. So congratulations, and look forward to working with you in years ahead.
Thank you so much, Congressman Johnnie, for those words. Really appreciate you being here. So our next speaker is the first former automotive dealer group owner to be elected to the U.S. Senate. Senator Bernie Moreno has been a passionate supporter of the automotive industry, its suppliers, and the entire dealer network in the U.S. And in a short period of time, we've enjoyed lots of wins under your leadership, so really appreciate you taking the time to be here with us.
Well, thank you, Nick, and it's an honor to join the McLaren team. I never had a McLaren dealership, never had that opportunity, but certainly everybody in the auto industry recognizes a great brand that it is, and it's truly a very, very special type of vehicle. So again, you may wonder what a senator from Ohio is doing here in Maryland. It is not to get our football team back, by the way. Just FYI, we had to struggle there for a little bit. I thought the orange helmets, I thought you guys would tribute to the Cleveland Browns, but evidently that's not it either. But no, look, I'm a car guy at heart. I never thought I would be in politics, but I'm somebody who's cared about the car business since I was a little kid. And I'm keenly aware of how important the auto industry is to this country. You know, we didn't invent the automobile here in America, but we certainly invented what it became, a symbol of freedom, to be able to go wherever you want to go, whenever you want to go. I know that, like a lot of you, you remember when you turned 16 years old and how special it felt to get that driver's license. Now, not quite behind the wheel of a car like this, but you certainly aspired to get there. And you know, it's interesting because in Britain, this relatively small country has always been a center of excellence in the world for incredible engineering, and some of the most iconic brands on earth all live there. So it was very, very special to see that one of the first trade deals that we did back in May was with the UK. We settled with what I thought was a phenomenal trade agreement with the UK that allows certainty to happen. And of course, now with the One Big Beautiful Bill, we have certainty on taxes. So investment certainty on bonus depreciation, which allows businesses to invest here and grow here. So we've got a lot of the pieces of the puzzles coming together. Nick, thank you also for inviting me to the F1 race in Miami. Now, I will say McLaren made the race relatively boring because typically you hope for that photo finish. but I was with somebody who had never really been to an F1 race, and they go, "Is this normal?" And I said, "You mean where the first 2 cars are from one brand and everybody else is like 7 minutes behind?" No, that's not normal. But it was certainly probably exciting for McLaren, not so fun for everybody else. But I will point out that the McLaren F1 team is the only F1 team that's led by an American, which is pretty cool. Different Brown. You're not related, right? You guys don't look alike. But it's a pretty cool tribute there. But look, this is a very special place for car dealers, because you see, when we sell cars and they are ordered, we actually don't get paid until the clients pick them up. So as we see them get made and they get on a ship and they're in a vehicle processing center, we're excited, but not really until they arrive at the dealership and the customer pays for the vehicle. And this allows that to happen in an expedited fashion. So again, I want to echo what Nick said, Secretary Bessent, Secretary Lutnick, Ambassador Greer. The work they did to get this UK deal across the finish line has become a model and a template for other trade deals. And I'm not one that likes to predict a lot of things, but I think by the end of summer, by Labor Day, we'll see certainty on tariffs. And really what it's going to do is what the Congressman alluded to, which is we want industry back in America. We want these good, high-paying jobs here. Now, there are some cars like McLaren that can't be made here, but this kind of investment shows that even car companies that can't produce cars in the U.S. can invest in America. And the hundreds of millions of dollars that McLaren and McLaren dealers are making in this country are meaningful, because those are the kinds of jobs that allow a mom or a dad to have one job so that the other spouse can raise their kids and they can have a home, they can own a car, they can raise a family, they can retire with dignity. That's what should be our North Star in Congress, that we're aiming to do that. So the idea that we have a company like McLaren investing in a facility that was once a beacon of good middle-class jobs here is a step in the right direction, and we're going to continue to do more of that. I'm honored to work with my fellow freshman, Senator Alsobrooks. We may not agree on a lot of things, but there's a lot of things we do agree on. And we've introduced bipartisan legislation with her, and we will continue to do that. And hopefully some of that legislation we get through the Senate, we can get that signed to show the country, look, we don't always have to fight about everything. There are some things that we can get done. And economic opportunity for American citizens is certainly something that we agree on. So really excited about your investment here, Nick. Thank you. I think there's also a $25 million investment happening in Chicago, a $30 million investment happening in Florida. And look, I know I'm standing between you and getting this groundbreaking going, but maybe someday you think about Ohio as a place to invest in. I know you stole our football team, but we can get back to some investment there. But thank you for being here. Thank you for your investment. Congressman, great to get to know you. And let's get this thing on the ground.
Thank you so much, Senator, and thank you to all of our special guests and everyone here for being a part of this occasion. Now, Baltimore is known for many great things. Its rich history and culture, shipping, of course, U.S. military, football, as Senator mentioned, and of course, crab cakes. So now I would like to welcome our special guests for the ceremonial groundbreaking. Thank you.
What I'm talking about. All right, we're ready? All right. This is a nice shot.
Hey there, it's William West Hopper from The Real DC Car Guy, and I'm here with Nicolas Brown from McLaren. Welcome to Maryland.
Thank you. Great to be here as always.
So Nicolas, I did a little research on you, and you're sort of a 21st century guy. I mean, you graduated from college in 2003, went to work for BMW and Rolls-Royce, and then came over here. So what would your advice to a 21-year-old person today be in the business world to become as successful as you have become?
I would say, don't be afraid to dream big. So I was the annoying kid at the breakfast table that would read the car magazines, and it was just my dream to enter the automotive space. So when I finished up university, I applied to the BMW group at the time and was fortunate enough to get in, and this was in Munich, Germany, and yes, the rest is history.
So when did that first car bit come to you? Has this been since you've been a child?
Since I was a child, so a mixture of the car magazines and going to the local auto shows. I'm from New York originally, so I would always go to the Jacob Javits Center with my father, and just always loved cars.
So do you get your car gene from your dad or grandfather or somebody, you think?
My father loved cars as well, but really, and it was those times going to the auto show with him that were really special for me, and it was a great bonding time with my father. So that definitely was a facilitator as well.
So with McLaren coming to Baltimore here, but you would sound like from what I heard today, you've been processing vehicles here for a while.
Yes.
Do you
correct.
process vehicles anywhere else in the country?
No,
Okay.
only through Baltimore. So any McLaren that is coming either into the U.S. or Canada comes via Baltimore.
Okay, so Baltimore has been your choice, and
Yes.
I'm sure there are other ports that appealed to you or reached out to you, but you chose to stay in Baltimore.
Correct.
Is there a reason that Baltimore stayed as top notch for you?
Yes, Baltimore is really an automotive hub, and it has been phenomenal working with local and statewide officials. We've felt very welcomed here, and so when it was time to really make a massive investment, for us it was clear that we would reinvest in Baltimore, and that's what we're doing today.
Well, and I also did a little research on the Port of Baltimore, and we used, in the 1600s, this is where tobacco from Maryland was shipped to the Great Britain.
Yes,
and
yeah.
so it's interesting now that you have turned the circle around and
Yes.
you're bringing great products from Great Britain here. With the success of the movie F1 this summer, I don't know how you feel about that, but what are your thoughts of bringing that kind of energy to America? Because Americans aren't as into F1 racing, and you guys certainly are.
Yes. It's definitely important. So I've been a Formula One fan forever, but especially when you look at the last few years since 2019, we've really seen so much interest, and interest has grown within the Formula One space, and this is down to shows like Drive to Survive, the Formula One movie, and really the investments that have been made in this country. As you know, we now have some really key races here with Miami, with Vegas, with COTA. So that has really energized interest in Formula One, and of course, that's great for us. It creates a lot of buzz, and we're obviously fortunate that the McLaren team is doing so well and winning championships.
Well, and it seemed the underlying story at the F1 movie this summer was sort of a grizzled older guy who had a little bit of, was trying to teach the young guys. So what would you teach young guys today? I mean, what's your thoughts on that kind of mentorship?
Mentorship is key, and that's actually a key component of what we want to do at this facility, is really targeting the youth, offering internships and trade programs for students that want to get involved within automotive. So for me, that's key. This is an incredibly exciting industry, and we need more talent rising up through the ranks.
Great. And McLaren seems to be involved in a variety of things like NFTs and Lego. I saw Lego on there, and I thought that was an interesting.
Lego has been a great partner. Obviously, very technical and great for everyone from children through
So are
to
you
adults.
a Lego enthusiast yourself?
I am a Lego enthusiast
good.
as well.
And
Yes,
do you have kids that you're?
I do. So he's a little young. We have a 20-month-old.
Okay.
Loves cars as well,
okay.
but Lego's the next step.
So, and NFTs, I thought that cryptocurrency, which seems to be a big topic, where did that come from in the McLaren stuff? Why is that part of?
So that was an initiative that was launched a few years ago, and it's really about staying cutting edge and attuned to the zeitgeist of the current generation.
Cool. So, with the future coming up, you mentioned there's a lot of great, things happening with McLaren. Tell me one thing or two things that maybe your fingers have created with McLaren over the last. You've been there, almost 10 years?
Over 6 years.
6 years, okay.
now.
So,
Yes.
so what can you put your finger on and say, I did that?
So for me, it's really about enhancing the customer experience, being a great partner to our dealers that have invested so much, and this latest initiative here and building this all-new state-of-the-art vehicle processing center, which will truly be the benchmark in the world. So that's something that I'm personally very proud of.
Well, very good. Well, congratulations. Well, thank you so much for visiting with us here today and for bringing this to Baltimore.
Thank you.
All right,
It's been a
bye-bye.
pleasure speaking with you.